All right, all right. Good morning, good morning. I said it's time to wake up. I should talk. I'm still asleep. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is more to wake myself up right here. Get your body moving. Shake it up, shake it up. Monday, February 28th, 2022. It's going down. Oh, yeah. Haha. What's happening, y'all? Wake up, wake up. Monday, February 28th, 2022. A fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Hey, Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. What's happening?
Hey. Well, honey, y'all. Well, honey.
Hey. Shout out to Beth and the listeners over there on the radio channel with that new mix. We've been playing Robert Glasper like all weekend. That new Black Radio 3 that came out. It's fire.
Is that Black Superheroes on that?
Yes, Black Superheroes is on that.
Okay. I saw that. I know the album had dropped. Okay.
Yep. Dropped just Friday. So we did a whole Sunday Black Classical Sundays on the radio channel. Played a whole bunch of the album. So it's cool. Like I said, slamming.
Man.
It's going down, man. Good morning to you. Good morning to all. This is First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. Oh, my bad.
No, you good.
We already got some good mornings in the chat. What's happening?
Hey.
Thank you for getting up so early with us. Pop says good morning, First Sky Squad and fam. Wanda Lewis says good morning. Brooke Rodriguez said good morning.
Good morning.
Brother Muhammad says assalamu alaikum. Wake up, y'all. I heard that. Alaikum salam, brother. Carolyn Jack says good morning. Julie Prinzler gives us a good morning. Great to be with y'all. Appreciate it. Michelle Moreno gives us a good morning, everyone. Everybody's up bright and early on a Monday. Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully everyone had a safe and chill or fun weekend, whatever, you prefer.
Yeah. What'd you guys do? Do anything fun this weekend? What did we miss?
Yeah. Did we miss anything over the weekend? Let us know. Because, I was kind of stuck in my own world over this weekend, man, dealing with this car. Oh, man. It's always something. Yeah, man.
Hoopty car. We hoopty car clubbing?
Hoopty crew. I mean, it's not necessarily hoopty crew, man, but my starter went out. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's no good, man. My wife and I are sharing cars right now. Can't have that. Can't have that.
Yeah, it's rough life.
Nah, man. Yeah, it was on my back during the weekend, busting knuckles under that truck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. My hands all busted up right now.
Yeah, it's no good. My hand gets busted up when I'm dialing for the mechanic. Sometimes my finger gets stuck. My finger gets bruised up.
Man, eventually I had to call some help in. Had to call in some help. Somebody with some better tools than I had.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Got a good morning, First Sky fan from Josh Tagg. What's happening, my brother? Appreciate you coming on in.
Miss Erica Felt.
Yeah, man. Miss Erica Felt. Good morning. What's happening?
Good morning.
I've been using your government name for a minute now. You're staying out of trouble these days.
Ain't saying nothing. I guess she can go over to YouTube and say the outrageous stuff and still,
should be in the new meta jail soon. We'll have to find out how the new meta jail is. Yeah, that's funny, man. I'm thinking about the metaverse when we start doing the show in the metaverse, and then there's they got actual like graphic jails.
Well, I don't know. We have to look into it a little more, and maybe set a whole episode aside for a meta conversation. But I have heard reports of like meta crimes happening, like people getting assaulted and all kind of stuff in the metaverse.
Somebody already got their Jordans took in the metaverse.
Yeah. Got their meta Jordans took. Meta Jordans hanging from the metal telephone wire.
Crazy. Definitely lots going on this weekend. I mean, there's a lot happening. I mean, we're on the news all the time now, checking out what's going on with Ukraine.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Saturday Night
Yeah.
Live did the whole Ukraine national anthem at the beginning of the show. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, they skipped the fun business and dove into that. I was like, man, it's getting
Okay.
weird, crazy out here. And the more this is going on, the more we're talking to folks that got people connected, man. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I know you were saying that from your time in Russia, you had some friends and really just from throughout Europe, you had some connections out there that's kind of impacted by this.
oh yeah, man. Family friend that's living in Russia right now. Ex of mine from back in the day. Can't they talking about long lines at the ATM? They trying to get their money out. The ruble is
Man.
under a penny, way under a penny right now.
Yeah, and Miss Erica Felt, you just read my mind. I haven't seen that, but I have seen tweets, and there's an article we'll be diving into a little later on in the show. But Miss Erica Felt says, "Have you seen the videos of Africans being thrown off buses and trains trying to escape?"
Yep.
Yes, yes. Actually, shout out to Quest Love for tweeting some resources actually that we'll be sharing again a little later on in the show. But yes, several. Stories and reports of African students from multiple African countries being sent to the back of the line, being stopped from leaving Ukraine.
Yep. So we definitely think we should talk about it today because we have so many refugees, African refugees in our state
Yeah.
that you never know. They could be having family that's trying to get out of there or anything. Like it's going down. Like Brooke said, what about the Ukrainian government isn't letting black people cross the border?
Yeah.
You tell me something about Macy Gray was on there talking like, yeah, they rough over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, she was on Questlove's post, man, and basically saying she's, done some shows over there, spent some time in Ukraine, and it's racist over there, man. She was like, yeah, we
Crazy.
don't get any love over there in Ukraine.
Well, they sure gave Ukraine some love out here in Omaha too. The other day they were protesting out there about it in the place that I'm calling Freedom Corner now, 72nd
Mhm.
and Dodge.
Dodge. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, they was out there thick, but I was almost like, okay, I see how. Oh, wait a minute, yeah, they came out for us too back in Freedom Summer. So that's just the place to protest now, I guess, in Omaha, Freedom
Right.
Corner.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a trip. Mr. Erica says I'll share the video after the show on my Facebook. They said it's children, women, white men, then Africans.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. So hopefully we can share some resources to help those in those predicaments out. If you know anyone stuck in that situation, pass that information along. And also, if I didn't know that people were out there, looks like we got somebody speaking Russian in the chat. We'll see what that's
Mm-hmm.
about. But yeah, if
Privyet, whoever said that, we'll see who it is.
Yeah. If you were at that protest though, at the Freedom Corner,
Oh yeah,
during let us know, man. Kind of give us your take on that. Would definitely love to hear a okay,
okay.
we got a troll. We got a troll, y'all. We got
Got
a
a troll
troll.
on Twitch.
Yeah,
Got
yeah,
it.
yeah,
That's what's
yeah.
up.
Okay. Eventually we're gonna have to get us a moderator. I don't know if anyone's interested in that job, but we might need a moderator at some point in time. So I'll just
There you
just
go.
throw that out there. Just throw that out there.
Hey, want to give a good morning to Brianna Full for OPS. Gives us a good morning with some sunshine. What's happening?
Hey.
I want to talk a little bit about. I saw that you were over there for the Simone Sanders thing the other day, so I want you to be able to tell us about that if you have time today. Also, Amy Hutfless says, "Good morning, fam." So we got some
Hmm.
people coming on through. Appreciate it.
You know what? I actually got a theory about this troll that just popped in that's actually going right along with a story that we have to talk about
Mm,
a little later on. Basically, how the Ukrainian Russian war affects Nebraska and Omaha specifically, because
yeah.
there's a Homeland Security office in Omaha, the Insight office, which is located at UNO's campus.
Mm-hmm.
And they look at misinformation and things like that, misinformation campaigns. Kind of curious. We're gonna be talking about that.
Absolutely. Right on. Right
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
Rain Harrison Williams says Ukraine and Poland history of Nazi involvement. Okay, so looking back at some things as well. There's a lot going on here, so we'll be definitely diving in. There's a lot to talk about there, more than I thought there was going to be out there talking about. As far as Ukraine Russian situation, more than just the war, just the threat of war, the economic situation that's going on now, and that's locking Russian people out of their money because of the sanctions and things that's happening, and then also Putin chiming up and saying, nuclear weapons might be more in play if you guys keep these sanctions up. So, yeah.
There's some more to talk about with that. Also, we will be getting into some local news. The Mutual of Omaha situation is heating up.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, TIFF is making its interest into this conversation.
Yep, TIFF dollars again.
Yeah, man. To the tune of $60 million. But that's not even the lion's share of the actual price tag that the skyscraper will carry. So we'll talk about that whole situation coming up. Also, speaking of situations, man, we got to keep our eye on this gubernatorial race in Nebraska. More news coming out about Charles Herbster. Omaha World Herald has actually updated a story from last year, giving more of a clear picture of what Herbster was doing around the time of the insurrection, and kind of suggesting he may have had more of a part to play in that whole situation. So yeah, I'll definitely we'll definitely dive into that a little later on. Also, if there's anything on your hearts, your minds that you would like to talk about, again, if there's anything that you got into over the weekend or anything that happened over the weekend that we may have missed, again, feel free to drop that into the chat. Let us know what's on your mind, what's on your hearts. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. Without further ado, it's 12 minutes past the hour. Let's go ahead and get this show on the road.
Right on. Let's do it. Good morning. Once again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, and all of you, the chat chimers. Really appreciate everybody that's chiming into the chat, except for the troll, but we just went ahead and cut him off. So don't worry about that. And shout out to Mayor Sanchez, who says that he might help us do some of this moderating work. And I appreciate you also listening. Drive safe, please. Don't get in a wreck because you're listening to us. But I really appreciate it. So thank you very much for everybody who is participating in this journey, in these discussions that we're having. And let us know what you guys have got into this weekend, and what's been on your mind, what's been on your heart and mind over everything that's going on right now. Also, Amy Helpless says, still not over the intro. Love it. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Weberized says, it's Monday, chat chimers. Let's get down to business.
Let's get busy then. Let's get busy. Go ahead and dive into it. If you don't mind. Got a song about it, like to hear it. Here it go.
Thank you very much.
Oh man, we're talking about this tax increment financing situation. Let's go ahead and start in our own backyard because this is a situation we've been paying close attention to, and it continues in this latest installment. It's not a surprise. Let's just be honest, y'all. This being reported by KETV News 7. Mutual of Omaha is requesting more than $60 million. $60 million in tax increment financing, or as we like to call it, that good old TIF. And of course, it's all going towards its new downtown office tower. In the words of Joaquin B. Sangan, a phallic symbol for the Mutual of Omaha. The company announced in January plans for the skyscraper on the current site of the W. Dale Clark Library, our beloved downtown library that we recently lost. And Mutual will move its headquarters from its longtime location in the Midtown area to that new downtown tower. Of course, documents note that the TIF request approved by the TIF committee was up to $68 million. With usable TIF loan proceeds at $62 million. That's coming from the planning board documents that detail the TIF request that the Mutual of Omaha had put in, which is a small drop in the bucket of the larger total project cost of $433 million. The plan, which is being dubbed Project Beacon, apparently is this the skyscraper will include 800,000 square feet of office space and 2,200 parking stalls. So my question, of course, is $60 million in TIF financing. Does anyone have any idea how this will benefit the city or the people within it?
So many questions about this for me. Of course, there is the whole idea that TIF funds are acquired because you're in a situation where you have some blight in the area. So, is the Dale Clark Library considered blight now, or they got to tear it down for it to be blighted, or what's the deal there?
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, the whole that goes to my question. You know, the whole concept, the blight. If there's blight, there's a need. So the tax
right.
increment financing is based on that need. So again, how does this phallic symbol, how does this tower address that need?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm adding to the questions here on this. Another big question is that they haven't even finished designing the building yet. So how do they know they need
Mm,
60 million?
mm,
Where did that number come from? Just just trying to figure out their own budget and saying, well, this is this is what we may think we can get out of the TIF. I don't know. Amy Huffless in the chat says TIF is basically a tax rebate tool for developers. Legislation allows it. Of course, they're going to use it. Well,
yeah.
there you go. It's legislation allows it. That's the deal. So yeah, how does it benefit? Not sure. Where is it? How it affects us when these funds get used up. Is it a finite amount of funds? I mean,
Right.
other areas that are blighted, can they will they have access if they use this much of it?
I think you hit on the important part with this whole just the whole bigger picture of tip financing and how specifically Omaha has been using it, man. It seems like they've been handing out TIF dollars like hotcakes, man. Every time we look up, a new project is getting some kind of TIF backing or some portion of their project cost is coming from TIF. And I do wonder, like, is there a limit to how many TIF projects or how many TIF dollars can be given? If there's, an excess of TIF dollars given, how does that impact our tax pool? Um, I mean, if we got a whole bunch of companies that still owe us tax dollars, how can we pay for roads? How can if we're loaning out these tax dollars?
Yeah. It's a good question. I don't know. Brianna Full says, I don't think city council has ever denied a TIF request from a developer. So yeah, it seems like they're pretty freely given. It's just, I feel like when we first started talking about TIF, we went over a lot of this, a lot of whether or not it was finite finances, and whether or not there was only a certain amount, whether or not other organizations and developers and people in North and South Omaha were getting turned down or not for it. Um, there was a lot of questions that we had answered that we might need to go back and revisit because what is this exactly taking away from them to use TIF dollars for it? Is it the same as, what I'm saying? Is it do we have the same feeling like this is they're taking our tax dollars and doing something with it? That kind
Hmm.
of feeling, or is this money that's set aside for certain things and it's just that North and South Omaha don't have enough bigger development to be able to use them? We might need to go back and try to answer some other questions about it. Amy Helpless in the chat says they don't have to tear it down to use it. It can be a renovation too. I wouldn't be surprised if they're through the schematic design and have a project budget. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they got. I'm pretty sure they have the project budget laid out already, but they also stated that their ask might change because of the fact that the building is not really being done designed yet, and it might be more that they have to ask for it.
Yeah.
So
There's actually a 3 News report here that confirms that there are new details, and there's the plan is actually to be presented to the Omaha City Planning Board next month. So to that point, there are still new details coming out. There's still changes to the plan, and even this TIF financing that has not been set in stone either. The TIF application actually goes in front of the planning board on March 2nd. And the public can attend that meeting. It begins at 1:30 in the legislative chamber of the Civic Center.
There you go. Brianna Fool says TIF dollars have to go towards public infrastructure like sewers, streetlights, widening sidewalks.
You would think so.
So it's not going to actual construction of the building, but the infrastructure that will allow the building to be there. If that's the case, that kind of changes the game a little bit. I don't mind if it is a situation like it's our tax dollars. I wouldn't mind that going to shoring up the infrastructure of the streets around the project.
Mm-hmm.
Because why would the developer have to pay for that completely? You know what I'm saying? That's like you own a house. To me, that's like you own a house, and the way that they make you responsible for the sidewalk and the curb and the street and everything around the house. If you can get a break to fix some of that kind of infrastructure stuff from a fund, then why not? You know.
Mm-hmm. Amy Huffless is saying it can go to both.
Okay.
I would go on a limb and say there is no bounds or nothing, no limits to what because remember the bill that Justin Wayne just presented about TIF. If there were limitations, true. Why would we need the bill? You know.
And as many times as we talked about TIF and TIF projects, yeah, they've gone to a whole bunch of stuff more than just the infrastructure. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, looks like we should go. Oh, she said could be wrong about that. Deleted my comment that it can go both. I don't know, man. I think I don't know. Based on what I've seen it used for, like that Reader article when they delved into how many projects there were with TIF and what they were used for. It seems like they are using it for everything. I'm glad that we got some people that understand TIF a little bit a lot. Sounds like Amy Huffless and Brianna Full. Maybe we can have some more discussion and break down exactly what TIF is. How is it affecting us on the north and south sides, especially, and let's get a reminder about like what the big deal is that they're using TIF dollars all the time for stuff.
Yeah. Also, Wanda Lewis says they're taking the sewer separation project money from us on a monthly basis. They add it to our water bill. So, if I'm reading this correctly, if I'm reading your comment correct, are you saying your water bill went up as a result of this?
That sewer separation project, she's talked about this in the past. That project is something that we wish that there was some infrastructure money for, because that is that's. It's like you get charged for water and you get charged for the disposal of the water. She says, Stacey Jean says, good morning, first of all, for Sky Omaha family and friends. Good morning.
Good morning.
Wanda Lewis says they're also doing sidewalks and making the homeowners pay for it. Yeah, that's, infrastructure stuff we're going back and forth about. Brianna Full says, I would love to talk about TIF and how Omaha misuses it. Yeah, we definitely got some misuse happening. Yeah, so let's definitely do that, because here we are again. This ties into all the stories that we've been talking about the library, about getting rid of the Dale Clark Library, the new Mutual of Omaha building skyscraper that's going to be built there. And surprise, surprise, they're asking for TIF dollars for it. So again, our first understanding about TIF dollars had to do with it would help the north and south sides for some of the blight that's going on. So what are we talking about here? At one point, I remember us saying that the blight that they were talking about north side being blighted, and then being able to use TIF dollars in Midtown and in Blackstone and all these other areas, until we found out later on that they're considering those areas. They were considering those areas blighted. The areas that they're building in, they consider blighted. So yeah, I'd love to talk about the misuse, the definition and the misuse of TIF again too. Since we talk about it so much, let's get a redefinition on it.
Mm-hmm. And let's just like you said earlier, why the whole point of this conversation, and to keep it in perspective, is the real question is why isn't this being directed to North Omaha? Why is it always Midtown, 72nd and Dodge at the old crossroads? Why is it downtown? Why is it never North Omaha, which is the most blighted area? And again, that question has still not been answered.
I think it has to do with the fact that there's no developers that are trying to develop anything of any kind of significance in North and South Omaha. It's about those developers when they're going to build something huge or build some kind of or relocate a business.
Mm-hmm.
As far as they're going to come in is north downtown. Like Keywood and them are doing. So I don't know. Von Chapman in the chat says the repayment of TIF funds by the developers has been extended from 15 years to 20 years. What happens if the developer defaults? Good question. Brianna Full says North and South O have the least amount of TIF projects. Downtown has the most.
Yep.
Wanda Lewis says that they just raised the cost for their sewer project to approximately $70 a month to our water bill for every household. Whoa. That's crazy, man. You got to pay for the sewer around here too. No infrastructure help at all. That's why MUD be so out of control. Lots to talk about here. 726. You got any other thoughts? Go ahead and put them in the chat. Of course, you can let us know. If you're over on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button and become a subscriber to the YouTube channel as well. Appreciate everybody. If you're on Facebook, please share the show on your page so we can get as many people in the conversation as possible. And we'd love to have more people talking, especially if they're not trolls.
Yeah,
appreciate that.
And before we wrap this up, there's a paragraph in this Omaha World or this Channel 3 article that kind of breaks down TIF a little bit. To kind of answer the questions we were just saying. It says TIF is a redevelopment tool allowed under state statute to spur economic activity in areas deemed as blighted. It allows property tax revenue. So again, that's kind of where some of that money comes from, is specifically property taxes, not income taxes or anything, but property tax revenue generated by the new development to be diverted to pay for eligible redevelopment expenses. Typically, property tax revenue goes to local government coffers. But after TIF loan is paid, either after the 15 or, as we just learned, the 20-year period, the property tax revenue then starts flowing to the local governments. So again, the property taxes that the company would pay goes to the development, and then after the loan is paid off, then the property taxes begins going to the local government. So I don't think, based on reading that now, I think it's not that we're 62 million is being taken away from us directly, but it's that $62 million in taxes that we're not getting, if that makes sense, at least for the next 20 years.
Right.
Which then that begs the question, had the city been getting that $62 million in taxes, what could the city do? Could that improve? Could that 62 million go to improving streets? Could that 62 million go to improving schools?
Well, it's going to go to improving the streets around the building that they're building.
Yeah, like Wanda Lewis says, our property taxes goes up, the developers' taxes goes down.
Yeah. Amy Huffler says there are TIF projects in North O for sure. Downtown has the most action though. And Wanda Lewis says the money goes to the city. However, MUD collects it. Yeah. So yeah, interesting stuff. I'm glad you looked up that definition again too. It put some spin on some things, but it was good to redefine exactly why this is a big deal, and understanding why Justin Wayne, put some respect on his name, is asking for a little bit of regulation on that. So we do plan on having Senator Justin Wayne in.
Put some respect on his name.
Put some respect on his name in to talk to us about a few things, this being one of them. Some stuff that these bills and stuff he's trying to pass. So we'll get a hold of him and go ahead and try to get him back on and talk about that a little bit as well. One last comment here. Brianna says, I'm interested in TIF because it takes from property taxes, which has implications for public school funding, because public schools take their funding from property tax too.
Yeah, very so true. That's $62 million pool that these schools could be pulling from that they won't be getting at least for the next 20 years. And that's just one project. So add up all the TIF projects that have been given out, and how many tax dollars are we missing out on for the next 20 years, all in the name of these major corporations.
There you go. Terry Crawford says, good morning. Good morning to you. Opportunity for average irises to learn about TIF, community development, city planning, reinvestment act, Join the community board conversation on Friday. Let's be about it.
Mm.
Okay, cool. Get us some a flyer or some kind of if you
A
have
link?
a link or something like that to that, so we can look at that event there on Friday. Wanda Lewis says it never goes the way. The sewer separation project was only supposed to last 4 years. It's been 8 years now. Ooh, man, we got to bring somebody on to talk about that one. Ask some hard questions. Miss Erica Phelps says, yet home property taxes are ridiculously high. A house can sell for a decent amount, but if the taxes are almost $4,000 and it'll go up every year, that's prohibited. Crazy. Right on. Thank you very much for that. It is 7:30 right now. If you believe in the concept of time and you're keeping track of it, you're listening to a fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul
In the
B,
morning.
Buddi3 Da Gawd. Man, I keep on forgetting your cue. So you get
I
your
told
sang
you.
on.
I told you just gotta have. We're gonna have to record you a hotkey, your high cue, and you just get you a button.
Record.
What was that? What was that?
Yeah, that's me trying to shut down. We got to shut down. Here we go. Okay, I went into Twitch so that we can clean it out a tinch.
Get that troll up out of here. Man, but that troll we might have witnessed some very interesting, because
part of the war there, part of the
Ukraine-Russia war. No, literally that might have been part of the Ukrainian war, because the Russia-Ukrainian war, because again, we talked about hacking Russia. Yeah, we'll get into it. But it is 7:30. I know he's about to cut to a break.
Let's cut to a quick break. Got a good morning from Leah Quester. And
Keister,
also,
remember, it's Keister.
Oh, that's right. You said Keister. Yeah, she gave me the definition. Still forgot.
It's Miss Margolis.
There you go. Von Chapman says BID versus TIFF. Good question too. That's what's up. Miss Erica Phelps says, I saw nice houses for $175, but couldn't pay that $3,700 tax every year. Woo.
Sheesh.
That's rough. First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. Stay tuned. It's early, Leah. It's early. You gotta give me a break. I'm tired. I don't feel good. Keister, excuse me. I'll be right back. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning. Yeah, I was muted. My bad, y'all.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, and all of you on this Monday morning, February the 28th, last day of February and the last day of Black History Month.
Oh yeah, we do got the shortest month.
Yeah, we do got the short month. Yep. So,
hey,
and significantly less days means rent comes around a little faster.
Ooh,
mañana.
Yeah, man.
Mañana. We got a good morning from Kimra Snipes. Good morning, y'all.
Hey,
some respect on her name for sure. Brooke Rodriguez says, Zane says hi. What's up, dude? How you doing, buddy?
The dude.
First trip to Guitar Center yesterday.
Man, so, dude's getting big, man.
You saw the
yeah, dude's getting big.
Getting real big, and once then likes playing all the instruments too. So that's what's up. Hey. We have to get into some hand drums here pretty soon with him.
Nice.
So, yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Get him some djembe, get him, you know what I'm saying? Get him some things.
Hey, start them early. Start them early. I saw a picture or a post that said Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats son. He's already like a piano prodigy already. So
Man,
you start him early.
you know that dude's gonna be he gonna be dope.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what a talented family he's coming from right there. That's what's happening. Brother Muhammad in the house says, "Oh no, never let it be the last day for Black History." That's
That's
right.
true.
It's 365 around here all year. That's no last days for us.
Man, and Black
Um,
Future.
that's right. There you go. It's definitely. I've been thinking about Black History Month this month and thinking who is for more than I ever have in the
Not us.
past. It is not for us. It is not for us. If it helps if it helps people of other races to learn some things about us, great. But make it all year,
Yeah, man.
not just the shortest month in the year. Von Chapman says quid pro quo should be the demand for both North and South Omaha because their property tax monies are increased to pay for these tax projects.
Yeah.
Mm.
Actually, I'm glad you brought that back up because now that Miss Kimra is in, I did want to ask her, having served on the school board, um, have you seen how these TIF projects affect the
Budget.
the school's budget? How does these tax funds that we're finding out that come from the property tax money, which also OPS uses, how does that impact the money that OPS could be getting?
Good question. Because that's where really when we think about or what our property taxes are doing, we don't think too much about going into a TIF fund as we do going into the schools.
Right.
And then
Or
you wonder what
streets.
right. Then you wonder why the schools are so broke. What's going on with that when your property taxes are rising? Good question.
Yeah, man.
Jaquala Yarbrough says, "Good morning, all. Good morning to you as well." And Brother Muhammad says, "Keep on pushing."
Yeah, man. Can't stop, won't stop. But
So,
Jacarla, that's a new name. I haven't seen that name before.
mhm.
Welcome to the First Sky fam.
Yep,
Definitely feel free to chime into the chat. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. Definitely, anyone just now tuning in. You're tuned in to First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul
yep.
B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, my man Star Check Rich in the background. And yeah, all the ghost listeners that's not chiming in, all the first time and last time listeners, shout out to all y'all.
That's right. All the Russian bots, all the
Yeah,
trolls.
all the trolls coming in, man. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know what's on your mind, especially with this next article, if you don't mind me hopping into it.
Let's do it.
Man, because more news is coming out. Again, we have to pay attention to our gubernatorial race because all of this matters, man. All of this matters as far as the tip financing. If we get us a decent governor with some sense about themselves, we probably could get some financing and get some development in North and South Omaha, which
Come
is
on, Barrel
exactly
Blood.
the reason why we need Barrel Blood and not Charles Herbster.
No Herbster.
Yeah, no Herbster as our governor, man. More news coming out about Charles Herbster, the self proclaimed and he's not hiding it as far as his loyalty to President Trump. But we're now learning more thanks to this Omaha Royal Herald report how close and how loyal Herbster may be to Trump's inner circle. Again, Herbster is a Republican who owns Fall City, Nebraska ranch and also a business out in Kansas City. He also said on Facebook, admittedly, that he met with Trump prior to the infamous January 6th insurrection. He actually met with Trump at his private residence in Washington, D.C., in a hotel with his son, Donald Trump Jr., and Eric, and other campaign advisors. During this meeting, they all discussed prior to the insurrection how to pressure more members of Congress to object to the electoral college results that made Joe Biden the winner. Again, continuing this whole charade about the steal of the election. The new development in all of this, because that actually was no secret that Herbster was there, but the new development that the Omaha Royal Herald just recently reported was the fact that Herbster initially stated that he went home after the Capitol riots and after the insurrection, but is now being reported that his campaign actually said that he flew to Florida with Trump's family as a campaign again had previously said he flew home. That is not the case. Apparently, Herbster went to Florida, went to Trump's family home in Florida, and continued to meet with some of his inner circle, if you will. And actually, Herbster is quoted saying it should be our duty to explore those election irregularities, no matter how big or small. So again, I bring this article up to give point to the importance of our upcoming gubernatorial race, man. Like if we get like a Herbster or a Ilan Pillin or any of these Trump loyalists in office, we could be seeing another charade, a witch hunt, if you will.
And it's a real threat because of the state that we live in. You know, we're sea red with one blue dot, so it's a real you know, and people. Carol Blood put some respect on her name. Got to make some real moves because you know that's it's very we very well could have that. And I think that you, like you said, did you just mention that that Ricketts endorsed him?
No, I didn't. I didn't mention that Ricketts endorsed him. I just mentioned that he and Pillin were all Trump loyalists. But of
Right.
the Trump loyalists, yes, Herbster is Ricketts' favorite.
There you go. Mark Manor in the house. What's going on? Good morning. Says, note that Teresa Thibodeau was also in this article and involved in that. She's also running for governor. Nebraska Examiner did a great job reporting that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's a. I'm glad you brought that up too. There is some definite links there, and it just goes to kind of show you like what our state thinks of this stuff. We had several people from the state that went there on the day of the insurrection that got called out. And so you know, again, they don't even call it an insurrection. They think they're there defending the Constitution, defending the Trump, defending the process of voting, and they think they were doing a good thing. So this might not even hurt Herbster in the end.
I mean, no, of course, his voting base, like this is going to, in the eyes of his voting base, that's really who all he cares about. Yeah, this is a good sign. This is a sign that he's willing to do, whatever. But that's not good for the country as a whole, man. Like this just call it what it is, man. This white supremacy, extreme American nationalism is getting out of hand. Because that's what this
Yeah.
is. It's extreme patriotism and nationalism.
Yeah. Mark says Rick has actually endorsed Pillin. That's right. Thanks for correcting me on that.
Okay.
That
So
was right. It was Pillin, not Herbster, that he endorsed. But yeah, as a matter of fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I remember him having a problem with Herbster in the beginning. But we didn't really know why. I don't know what was going on there. Still really don't. But still, if it's more of the same. We kind of feel like um, uh, they're both Trump loyalists. I mean, that's kind of what
yeah,
it comes down to.
yeah. Apparently, Senator Carol Blood put some respect on her name. I'm gonna say the whole thing. The real name that her mama named her, Carol Blood. We need her in there. We need her in there because, to my understanding, she's the only gubernatorial candidate that's not a Trump loyalist or has not expressed fealty to King Trump.
Mm. Yep. There you go. Lots going on in the chat real quick. Brooke Rodriguez earlier said, I've been posting about Black women in art history all month. Black History Month flew by as usual. I encourage you to keep on posting about Black women in art history all through the year.
Never
Don't worry
stop.
about just the month. Yep. Wanda Lewis says, teachers are underpaid and changing careers, shortage of teachers. They're letting some parents teach now.
Hmm.
Jaquala Yarbrough says, thanks, guys. North Omaha must present and enforce an oversight and accountability piece aimed at preventing disparate conditions and tie it to the city tax.
Man.
Okay.
Okay, I like that idea.
Yeah. We have entrusted the government and its institutions without implementing a plan for self-sustainability.
There
Very
you
true.
go.
Very true. Very true. Wanda Lewis says, goodbye to expanded Medicaid. Yeah.
Man. And
Herbster
many other
getting it.
things.
So messed up. Brother Muhammad says, of course, it's where the bread is buttered. Yeah, that the support that Herbster is going to get from, like I said, I really feel like the people that felt like this, it was not an insurrection, felt like they did something patriotic, and I don't know if that's going to hurt a person that's been attached to it. Not in this state.
Yeah.
Mark Banner says the sad thing is Republicans are treating the primary as the general election, and we need to make sure that is not the case.
That's why we
haven't been talking about voting a whole lot lately.
No,
this is the time. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say, quite honestly, it seems I think we're one of the early ones. Like, as far as really look at the media landscape, no media outlet has really started their campaign coverage. We're the only media outlet that's actually having campaign coverage right now. Think about that, y'all. Omaha World Herald, they might announce, some updates, but
not a big push for getting the vote out right at this moment in time.
No. Even our partners, shout out to the Reader, but they're not starting their, coverage, I think, till March.
Von Chapman says how TIF is being used obviously and purposely discriminates against the most needy blighted areas in the city. This is where an organization insurrection should occur. Yeah, I hear that. We're gonna have an insurrection. Brother Muhammad says 75 million voted for the former Caesar.
Man,
that's a lot.
He has support out there.
Jaquala Yarbrough says whomever gets in there, I think we focus on what they will do for black people. Democrats overlook us too. I mean, can't really deny some of that. Precious McKesson in the house says, good morning, First Sky family. Good morning to you as well. And congratulations again. We have to have you on the show to talk about your new position coming up.
Yeah.
As you can see, there are some of us that feel like Democrats haven't been doing enough for black folks. And I know that with you at the helm, that's going to change. So we'll definitely talk more about that.
To that point. Just real quick, to that point, Precious just said there's a lot of work to be done from everyone. So
I heard that. Says we will work hard to make sure we elect Carol Blood. She says that's what's up. Very, very much so. Brianna Full says vote May 10th or request an early ballot. Thank you. Go. I'm looking for the date.
May 10th
as we speak. So it's kind of time to start really telling a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. This is still very grassroots for us. As far as getting the word out and getting people registered, getting people early ballots, even just bringing people on so they can get to know some of the candidates and know what voting for a certain candidate is going to really do for you. Jaquala Yarbrough says as a commercial drone pilot, Carol Blood was the front running opposition to expanding innovation services in this space in 2017. Our senators want to push innovation hubs. That's interesting. Okay.
Maybe that's something we can ask Carol Blood about when we have her back on.
Yeah, absolutely. Miss Erica Fell says I already mailed in my postcard request for early voting.
There you go.
Do we still have time for them green cards to get mailed in?
Yeah.
Okay. So request the early. Because this is gonna be a tough one. This is something that we need to be looking at pretty closely here pretty soon too. This whole idea of what certain groups are going to try to do to shut some of the voting down.
Yeah,
some of the suppression that's happening here in Nebraska.
Definitely expect it to come.
Most def 7:48 right now. If you keep track of time, if you have somewhere to be at 8:00, or if you believe in the concept, and I just want to let you know 7:48 right now in Omaha, Nebraska. And you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, and all of you, the chat chimers. Thanks for everybody that's tuned in this morning. Got lots of people coming in and a lot of comments happening. Really appreciate that. We'll take a quick break and come back and jump into some more stories here, things to talk about. Definitely drop in the chat some things that are on your heart and mind as well. Over the weekend, or just on the situation of the Ukraine, which we'll be coming back to talk about a little bit. It's really interesting, this situation with Ukraine and Russia affects us all. It's not just on the other side of the world. So, and it seems every day there's something that affects us more and more and more and more. Cuz out in LA said gas is almost $6.
I did see that reports of gas going up. So
insane.
Yeah, man.
We'll be right back. First Sky Omaha Radio. Stay tuned. Man, little man talked me into getting Xbox on the computer last night. So I didn't know that you didn't need the console. You can just get it on the computer.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
basically,
Actually, I play on my phone. I got Xbox on my phone.
Really?
Yeah, and you can hook the controller up to it through Bluetooth and everything.
That's crazy. He's supposed
Yeah,
to be
man.
getting his controller today. He all in the games already. A couple years he'd be on Twitch talking about what's up, Unc,
Yeah,
playing
man.
some games and things. And it's been so long, man. It's a trip. It's been so long since I got any kind of game console or anything. I was like, man, okay, you just download the thing now, put it on your computer, and keep on stepping.
Yeah, man.
So,
You skip a beat. No, won't skip a beat.
there you
How
go.
old is the dude, real quickly? How old is the dude?
5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th.
Really? Really? Man, he's kind of big for a 5-year-old. I don't know. That picture, dude looked like he was like 8, 9 in that picture.
Yeah, he's gonna be huge. His dad is pretty tall. The whole side of his dad's family is pretty tall.
Okay.
So he's gonna be up there. He'll probably be past me by the time he's 10.
Man, yeah. Shout out to the
Yeah.
dude.
That's what's up, dude. That's what's up, man. We had a good time at Guitar Center yesterday, showing him all the new instruments and stuff like that. First time, I didn't realize he had never been to Guitar Center. It's been such a staple in our lives.
Man, that's a
I'm
spot.
tired of going there, but took him there yesterday with some fresh eyes. Like, yeah, I remember the wonder of this joint when I walked in back in the day. That's what's up.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I was wondering, anybody out there in the chat, is anybody watching that Genius on Netflix?
Man.
Hey, Buddy was like, this is the thing. It's on my list. I haven't watched it yet, but I walked into my sister's yesterday and he was getting the wire taken out of his mouth. So I was like, yeah, man, he got footage from way back. He was looking real young.
Yo, so I would have, because I know, Paul, like you've talked about, documenting things. That's kind of why First Sky Omaha started, really, was to document the revolution that was happening with the Freedom Summer in 2020. Like, we were dying to document all of that and be a voice to it. And this whole Genius documentary is just reminding me of that, because again, having it documented allows you to tell the story. And if you can tell the story, then you can put your perspective on, you put your spin on, you could give the story. And if it's Kanye telling his own story, man, I'm looking forward to the other episodes, because my whole viewpoint of his mental health and everything that is surrounding Kanye now is being put in a different light. Which I compare that to us. We have to tell our own story. We have to document. That's why this is so important. We have to document. We have to tell our own story. We have to share our own perspectives and have our own voices be heard.
So true. So true. Keep breaking your cameras out. Keep capturing them moments. Save them. I know a lot of people that got their phone filled up don't know nothing about dumping it off onto the computer. Please learn how to do that, because one day we'll come back and hit you up and be like, "Hey, we need what you captured in between this date and this date, or this event, or something like that." It's important, man. I recognized the importance of that a long time ago, and I've been documenting a whole lot of stuff. So I love the fact that we look at this show as also a documentation as well, of the times. In the chat, Miss Erica Fell says you have until May 10th. You can either mail it in, talking about that green card. So it's postmarked by the date, or most libraries have drop boxes you can put them in.
Actually,
still some time.
May 2nd. May 2nd is the last day to request a ballot be mailed to you. April 22nd, it must be postmarked for mail-in registrations. And May 2nd at 6 p.m. For your that's to register to vote. Excuse me. So May 2nd is to register to vote and also to request a mail-in ballot.
Okay, so that's what, May 2nd. That's in 2 days. No, May 2nd.
No,
okay.
May 2nd. Yeah, May 2nd.
May 2nd.
Got a couple months.
Okay, sounds good. Jaquala Yarbrough says we need to get hard commitments from whoever we endorse. Yeah, like I said, we bring people on the show all the time talking about stuff, and ask them some of the hard questions, and for the most part, everybody is doing exactly what they said they were going to do. Precious McKesson says a lot of elected officials are not, and non-elected officials have opposition. That doesn't mean they don't support. I've seen legislation get opposed because one thing wasn't changed in the bill. Wow.
Yeah, she says definitely reach out and ask in her blood why she was opposed to that bill. That's also what I was thinking about as
Mm-hmm.
we read that comment, because a lot of times there's some wording in the bill, some nuance in the bill, some
Yep.
legalese in the bill that might not be very clear. Might be some ambiguous language that can leave a gray area or a window for some other nonsense to come through a little later on. You got to watch how some of these laws are written. So, yeah, like we said, we'll just have to ask her and get it from the horse's mouth per se.
Yeah, for sure. Von Chapman in the house, he's asking Precious, is there a reason why issues that affect the community as a whole can't be placed on the local ballot as ballot initiatives in Nebraska, thereby giving the voter an actual say in their destiny and not be totally dependent on a single individual to carry the ball across the finish line? That's a good question. I'd love to hear the answer to that myself. Miss Erica Felt says, for the mail-in, my postcard says different. She has it right there. What did she say it was? She said you have until May 10th to mail it in. I hope they didn't misprint something on somewhere. Somebody got the information mixed up there.
No, I think you have
Um,
until May 10th to send it in, but you have until May 2nd to request one to even send it in.
oh, to request one. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That'll work. President McKesson says Von Chapman ballot initiatives have to be approved by either the city council or legislature. I think. Let me look into this for you. Thank you for the conversations that are going on here and everybody doing some of the research. Let us know. It's a good place to discuss what's going on with the legislature with the bills. We usually don't have some of the senators on until after the session because they're usually pretty busy. But
Mhm.
definitely gather the questions because when we have them on, we want to hit them with everything. So most definitely do that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. In the meantime, we're coming up on the second hour of First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the
Paul
morning.
Paul B. Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. Paul B. Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich in the back. Space is the place. It's going
Yeah, man.
down.
Squad.
Let us know what's going on with you. Let us know what happened this weekend. What's on your mind? Is the Ukraine Russian situation bugging you? Is it on your mind? Have you been hearing things that worry you? And has it affected you? More importantly,
I will say it has been swimming around in my mind, man, and I have been looking into it and kind of trying to educate myself as much as I can about the situation. And one of the things that's like really just jumping out to me and it's kind of crazy to think about is the fact just how the fighting is happening. Like there are citizens who are hiding in buildings. There are citizens who are hiding in subway halls and subways. Um,
you mean
all the while fighting is happening outside, and it's fighting between. It's not. This isn't just a conflict between militaries. A country invaded another country and is shooting at its citizens.
right?
These aren't just trained people. This is not a conflict between two armies. That is crazy. Can you imagine if Mexico or Canada or Russia or China, some other country came into Omaha and Gene Stothard and Schmatter was just giving out guns to people? Like, yeah, if y'all down to fight, then here you are. If not, then you gotta go, under the Mutual of Omaha tunnels to hide until this is all done. That is what's happening in Ukraine right now. That is crazy.
And black people last too when you get
Yes,
down there.
yes, we'll get into that too. But yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I saw some video of them of citizens making Molotov cocktails, getting ready.
man, there
Um,
are training videos like tutorial videos on the news of how to make Molotov cocktails. That is what's being reported. The news is sending out tutorial videos of how to make Molotov cocktails for the average everyday citizen to defend their country. That is wild.
Very wild. Mark Manner in the chat says, I worry about kids. It's brought up how traumatized I was by the threat of nuclear war as a kid. I hope we are making sure our kids understand and are talking to them.
I can't imagine what it's like to be a kid right now.
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't think that the threat of nuclear war isn't being pushed on these kids the way it was pushed on us. Mark Manner can attest to this. And Generation X, bro, watching shows on TV like The Day After. You talking about that's all that was being talked about. The threat was so huge, it was ridiculous. You got to think about, like, we was coming off the Cuban Missile Crisis. It was the Cold War was just starting. Um, it was a daily thing that you were scared to death that you were going to die of nuclear holocaust. So I don't think that this situation, this is the reason why I brought it up a few days ago or last week or whenever, because I'm like, nobody's talking about that enough. I just heard the report this morning about the economic situation in Russia right now. The ruble is under a penny, and it's caused Putin to step up and say, "Look, we're gonna nuclear bombs might be in play if y'all don't cut some of this, some of these sanctions down." So I really don't think it's being talked about enough. They're talking a whole lot about sanctions. They're talking about a whole lot about pressure. They're doing a whole bunch of posturing. They're showing parts of the war, but I don't feel like everything that I'm watching isn't saying, "Hey, this could end up where they're talking about sending over some bombs somewhere."
Mm-hmm.
So I do worry about the kids too, Mark Manor, but I also don't think it's the same. It ain't the same situation as far as like the kind of preparedness they're trying to make kids nowadays about it. I just don't. I don't think that they're even talking about it enough.
I mean, it's for me. It's I make that comment because it's not even just a nuclear situation. It's just think about everything that's going on right now and how like school shootings has impacted the average everyday life of a child.
That's true.
The
Yeah.
pandemic has impacted the average everyday life of a child. Now war, which they with the invent of the internet and everything being at their fingertips, and you know, I remember when I was growing up, I didn't get a phone till 7th grade, and even then, like, you know, the phones, you didn't really have all this access to all this information and data on these phones.
Right.
I wouldn't imagine what it would be like to be in the 7th grade with a phone with all this information on it now, and the
It's true.
curiosity that I had. Like, it's a different world, and I don't envy these children.
It's very true. In the chat, they're talking about it a little bit. Amy Huffley says, "That's what I keep thinking of, nuclear threat." Pop says, "Putin may have bitten off more than he can chew. These Ukrainians ain't playing."
Nah, and I will say that Zelensky's like, I ain't going nowhere. What he say? I need ammo, not a ride.
Yeah,
Y'all
bro.
tripping.
Ukraine ain't got no nuclear bombs, bro. So, Putin ain't thinking he biting off more than he can chew yet. Amy Huffley says, "This is normal for the children. It's sad."
Yeah, man.
Kimmer Snipe says, "I'm in and out, y'all, but she's going back to the TIFF. Let's go back and talk about that in a minute." Brother Muhammad says, "Ukraine is like the fourth greatest total of resource country in the world. They want this, not a completely destroyed infrastructure." So maybe there's that's why they won't bomb Ukraine.
Ukraine, right.
Yeah.
Nah, Putin is hell bent on getting Ukraine intact as a part of the Russian territory. But that is not to say for the neighboring NATO countries as far as the nuclear threat.
Very, very true. You want to go ahead and jump into some? There's some more in the chat we can jump into, but let's get ready for the next article here. Von Chapman says, if they treated Putin like they treated Bin Laden and Gaddafi, the problem would be solved now. Yeah, Bin Laden and Gaddafi didn't have nuclear bombs, bro. Like, this is what I'm saying. We ain't talking about this. You forgot about the Cold War. You know how many stockpile of nuclear weapons there are? You ain't gonna go in and take out Putin like you did Bin Laden. It's just not gonna happen.
And quite honestly, Bin Laden wasn't a head of state, and I think Gaddafi was a head of state, but he was a head of an African state. So that tells you all you need to know about that. They don't really care about Africa, bro. Actually, speaking of that, while all this is going on, America is in conflict with Somalia right now. So,
forgot about that already.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't.
Lots to talk about, man. Very rough, very rough. Let's move on to the next story. We got half the chat talking about TIFF still, and we can you guys go ahead and continue that conversation. Like I said, that's one of those evergreen ones for us too. We will keep talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
In the
But
meantime, go ahead.
yeah, I do want to go ahead and dive into exactly what I just said. That is the next article that I had lined up. But um, some of y'all have already mentioned it at the top of the show, talking about Somalia, talking about Africa. There are African students who are trying to flee back to Africa and stuck in Ukraine right now amid the Russian invasion. This actually reported from Complex is where I got this article. It says thousands of African students spread across Ukraine are trapped and fearing for their safety following Russia's invasion. Corinne Sky, a 26-year-old medical student, told Insider that she is trying to coordinate with other students in hope of escaping the conflict. She says, "I'm very, very afraid. We're not getting any help from the embassies. They have pretty much just said, save yourselves." Another Nigerian student told the outlet that they have looked to Poland as an escape route, saying, "We are hoping we could cross over to Poland, even though we do not have active visa that allows that. I guess we are hoping Poland will allow us to take shelter in their country." Also, another student told Al Jazeera that they have received no support from any government authorities. Actually, they went on to say the school only gave us bomb shelter to hide when the air raid siren is on. The sirens came on and off for about 5 times yesterday before I left. There is little food. I couldn't access cash for 2 days now. Every ATM on the road has no cash. So the situation is getting bad and slowly but surely getting worse. Again, this was brought to my attention through a Questlove post. So definitely shout out to Questlove. This was on Instagram. I'm gonna see if I can find it. But
Legendary Roots Crew.
man, Questlove Supreme
Mm.
posted on Instagram exactly some of these stories. And not only are these people trapped, but when these people do make it to the border, when they do find a route, they're sent to the back of the line. Now, as some of the chat chimers have mentioned, it's what was it? Children, women, children, white men, and then Africans is I guess the order that they created.
Ain't crazy if they would have an order like that. That's how they would separate things up.
Like
Yeah.
it's just crazy. In the middle of war, in the middle of you being invaded, you still have it in your heart to be racist.
Ms. Circumfeld says Africans are being brutalized at the buses and trains and not allowed on. Precious says definitely because been following this. Many black leaders are following this. Raina Harrison Williams says I've seen pictures of people with dogs on trains and they won't let people of color on. Sick.
That's your whole point
Don't get
about
me.
the animals and the beasts in the field.
That's what I'm saying. Don't get me started on dogs in this culture. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. This is really messed up. Really messed up.
Yeah.
It just kind of goes to you. Just really kind of think. You don't think about. We got people in right here in Omaha that probably have people that are family members or something that's trying to get out of there. I mean, this is something that could affect us close to home in a big way.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can find resources and stuff for those people if there are any.
Well, actually, I found the post, the Questlove post, that does give some of that information out.
Nice.
One of the stories, it says that a young woman was waiting 7 hours to cross the border, and when she finally got to the border, she was sent to the back of the line. So that was that story. But here's some helpful information. It's a post. It says, if there are any Nigerians stuck at the Polish border, call the embassy in Warsaw. The embassy is trying to organize buses to collect you from the border. That number is 48-226-513-305. And we'll repost some of these posts, but there are numbers out there. Also, there's a WhatsApp number. It says embassy in Ukraine. This is the South African embassy in Ukraine is still operational. The WhatsApp number is 380-5031-1461. So there's different African countries, and the embassies are reaching out to their citizens, trying to coordinate an escape for them. So maybe we can we'll find a way to post these numbers and maybe we can share them around, post them on the Friends of First Sky page, because again, Africans trapped in Ukraine and nobody cares about them.
Yeah, Precious in the chat saw something that I saw yesterday too that was just messed up. There was a 3-month-old baby and her mother not allowed. It was 3 degrees outside.
Sheesh.
Yeah, they showed there was a video of that. Yeah, it's bad news. There's lots of Ukrainian people, lots of Russian people in Ukraine that are fleeing right now, and just like everywhere else, man, there's African people everywhere. We think about that kind of stuff. The times that I lived abroad, there was Africans everywhere
Yeah.
in every part of the world. That's where they're living there. So this is
I mean, the diaspora, is not just in the United States. That diaspora is a global thing. Speaking of the African diaspora, we're everywhere, man. I mean, quite honestly, they call us minorities, but this is the African world. This is
yeah,
an African world.
it's the majority. For sure.
Mm.
Precious said, praying for all. I hear that. Brother Muhammad says, consider the sonic warfare microwave programming through our devices subliminally.
Actually, that's the next part of this article that I wanted to dive in, or the part of the situation that I wanted to dive into, as far as the technology and some of the subliminal, subversive aspects of this war, which we ourselves, again, if you've been paying attention to this whole episode early on, we got a Russian bot, a Russian troll. Where did this person come from? Even if it was a person, where did that troll come from? And I think that, again, that is the real lifetime example of these Russian cyber attacks. Because what I think happened is they have some bots, Russian hackers have some kind of system that flags when because we're live streaming right now. Anybody can tap in, catch our waves, whatever we're saying. And if we say Ukraine, Russia, or any of these flagged words, then the bot then comes into our chat. So we're seeing we just got cyber attacked by Russia. Effectively.
Yeah. Yeah, you missed the bot. Go back and go back and check the front part of this show. If just to let you guys know too, if you've missed any parts of the show, you can go back and watch them again on Facebook or YouTube. But yeah, at the beginning of the show, man, we got a troll coming in on Twitch. We thought was a troll, but it started off saying hello in Russian.
Is that what that is?
Privyet was the first word was hello. And then after that, they switched to English and started talking junk. So
talk about Snoop Dogg and said we was cute and all kind of stuff.
I mean, it was right, but I'm just still,
it
might have been a bot. Wanda Lewis says they did the same thing to the Haitians. They had whips riding on horses. Remember
that? Yeah.
They was trying to get out and wouldn't let them get out either. Hot mess. Miss Erica Felt, y'all. Oh, thank you, Miss Erica Felt. Appreciate you. Mark Matter says, I have a confession to make. I've been a Russian troll this whole time.
Oh, what?
That's Vidania, dude. Peace.
He did say he was in some of those KFAB chats and things.
Yeah, for sure. Change the passwords. Yeah, for sure, man. Absolutely. What it is that we went to Twitch, and that's a much more open situation
platform.
there. So
yeah,
platform. Yeah. So we have to just watch that. But it's inevitable. It's inevitable. You get to a certain size, and then you start getting trolled for sure, especially with the content that we talk about, things that we talk about all the time. So it is what it is. Von Chapman says, white racist is a white racism in any language. I heard that.
Man, there you go. I mean, like Macy Gray said, she been out there to Ukraine. They might not speak English, but they still racist.
I can just see her saying it too. Oh man, it was
yeah,
it was so racist out there. 8:15 right now. If you're keeping track of time for your day today, like I said, if you are missing any parts of the show, you can always go back and check it out on Facebook and on YouTube and on Twitter too, which we are live on Twitter as well. If you get most of your news articles from there, you can always link us over there too if you have things that you want to talk about. But for the most part, Friends of First Sky Omaha group page is where we talk a lot about this news and drop a lot of resources and things over there too. So definitely join that club.
Yeah, man.
Precious McKesson is replying to Mark Manor, stay off them KFAB chats. Got caught up last week on some KFAB.
Man, trolling.
Straight up. You want to take a quick break and come on through, or what?
Yeah, we can take a quick break and come back because there are 2 other articles with this that I wanted to dive into as far as how it impacts us. I know you mentioned you got a cousin out in Cali that's talking about some astronomical gas prices, which yeah, man, it goes right along with this whole Ukraine-Russia situation. And also, again, there is the Insight office located right in Omaha. Insight is the National Counterterrorism Innovation Technology and Education Center, which again is located at Omaha. They are the ones responsible for combating these Russian cyber attacks. So we'll talk about all of that and more on the other side of the break. You are still tuned in to a fresh Monday edition. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. All of you don't go nowhere.
We'll be right back, y'all. Yo, fresh edition of First Sky Omaha Radio on this Monday, 2/20. What is this? February 28th, last day of February.
Yeah, man.
It means tomorrow's the 1st, y'all. So watch out. And anyway, yeah, welcome back. This is First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. Thanks for tuning in this morning, and thanks for dealing with us. I'm a little under the weather and super tired. I don't know what's going on. Something hit me pretty hard yesterday, so I'm feeling all coffee and sneezy and all that good stuff. But hope I'm not sounding too crazy on the air. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna come in and do what we do, regardless. So we're here, and we're here to have these discussions. So we really want to thank you guys for coming in and joining us on that. Mark Manor said he got banned from KFAB. That's what, see, represent. I still think your idea, buddy, of us doing a flash mob,
man,
KFAB might be dope. Precious McKesson says, I'm such a news junkie. I can't wait to get to work and watch CNN and read papers. I heard that. Right. I can't wait for politicking with P to come on back through as well. Cameron Knife says, who else MUD made them want to cry? Natural gas prices are out of control.
Man, I didn't even think about the MUD bill and how that affect. Oh, I didn't think about that. Ooh. MUD. So again, I just moved into a new spot, gas grill. Yeah, the stove is gas, so we will be using our gas, our gas bill. So that's I didn't even think about how that will be impacting. But
Russia's is it Russia or Ukraine? One of them are one of the top natural gas distributors in the world. So that's natural gas is going to go all the way up.
Yep, actually, what the NPR report says, the Russian invasion of Ukraine has prompted the United States and the allies to put on the harsh sanctions, and as a result of those sanctions, the price of oil and gas has shot up, with the expectation of war disrupting the flow of Russia. So it's Russia's oil output that's being disrupted, that's causing the spike in prices. And according to NPR, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are several other areas of global economy that are expected to feel the sting of the conflict in Europe. Uh, so, yeah, that's very interesting. Not only gas prices, but I'm sure we'll see a spike in raw materials, maybe metals. Um, we don't know how this will impact electronics, whatever materials are used in these microchips and motherboards and things like that. Where is this stuff coming from? So yeah, again, NPR is saying this is the tip of the iceberg, and I would um, go along with that. I think that's a pretty fair assessment. And not only the impact just from the economic fallout from the sanctions, but how will the cyber attacks impact us? Because again, keep in mind that cyber warfare is a weapon in the arsenal of the Russians, and we've already been impacted by that before. Again, I mentioned hospitals have been attacked by either Chinese or Russian operatives, which caused people who needed surgery not to be able to schedule those surgeries. Hospital beds, were impacted. Power grids have been hacked. Again, we had the whole situation down here in Georgia where people were lining up. There were lines around the block for people trying to get gas because the energy grid was hacked, and then also banks have been hacked by cyber. So again, hospitals, our power, our banks, these are all instrumental to our infrastructure, and these could all be attacked by Russian and Chinese operatives. So again, when NPR says this is the tip of the iceberg, it's a pretty huge iceberg under the surface.
Yeah. And not to mention that they've kind of proven that the Russian hacks affected the election, which was
That too.
which was kind of huge. One of the reasons why Mark Zuckerberg is sitting up in front of these committees testifying recently. So yeah, there's a lot going on, and like you said, if you missed the early part of the show, looks like we had a little Russian hack there coming on
Yeah.
in on Twitch.
And
Yeah,
also to your point about the elections, I was just actually looking at Questlove's stories, and one post that he made was a tweet that said, "Remember that there are more right wing Americans supporting the Russian invasion and supporting Biden." As Wanda Lewis says, Trump's people, Trump himself and his followers are all supporting this Russian invasion more so than the Russian citizens. There's been several in Petersburg and several other areas throughout Russia where many citizens have already been arrested because they know they have friends and family in Ukraine and they don't support this. So, if that's the case, what kind of power structure could America be co-opted continuously? It looks like it. It looks like it. If Trump and his loyalists have their way, it's not going to be good for us.
yeah. We haven't really talked about that too much, but I did see footage of white protesters shouting Putin, Putin, like chanting his name over this invasion. Uh, and Questlove got a point there. There's so many people that are for it, that are for the invasion in this country. Is crazy. And that's one of the reasons why people that are protesting for Ukraine are being so vocal as well, because they're bucking up against a bunch of people that are being vocal for Putin, which is really insane when you think about it.
Yes, sir.
In the chat, they're talking a lot about what's going on with the bills, MUD, the energy bill going up. Kimmer Snipe
Yeah,
says my bill went up 30%.
that's crazy.
30%. She called MUD, said, Houston, we have a problem. I heard that. Um, Also, a little early in the chat, I think Wanda Lewis says, yeah, she says, and I have a brand new 90% efficiency furnace, and my bill was still over $500.
Man,
Uh, Energy costs out of control. MUD is out of control. I feel like they've always been, and this is the reason why they've gone up now. So, we'll definitely see. Kimber Snipe says my bill went up over 30%. Brother Muhammad is talking about radiation burnout slows one down. The phones emit radiation waves.
talk
He
about
says
that 5G.
all the phone towers in your and my community are the culprits. Wanda Lewis says Trump people, most deaf. New Najee L says that there was a whole 60-minute story last night about the power grid vulnerabilities. Yeah, okay, Miss Erica Feld, I didn't need to hear about what people think of Putin this early in the morning. Sean McCarthy says the conservative Woodstock CPAC pack this weekend had shots of conservatives chanting Putin's name. Can you believe that, man? People
It's wild.
chanting Putin's name. Wanda Lewis says, "Has Ricketts spoken on the invasion yet?" I don't think he has. He hasn't. There's something he hasn't chimed up about yet.
No.
Chris Ignore gives us a good morning. That's what's happening. Good morning to you. Von Chapman says exactly why black folks are being pushed to the back of the line in Ukraine. Pop says yes. Thousands of Russians are protesting Putin in the streets.
Yep.
Totally, man. They can't get their money. They're in lines at the ATM trying to get their money out and can't get it. And the dollar has deflated up under a penny significantly.
Man.
I'm sorry, the ruble has deflated up under a penny. Wanda Lewis says, "Look at your gas bill and you'll see it's $70 off. It is for that sewer separation project." That's another part we keep bringing up, that sewer separation, which is infrastructure should be being taken care of with infrastructure dollars. It's just really not. And we're paying for that on top of the higher energy prices on there. MBD be out of control, man. It always, when I was living in the house, in a 3-bedroom house, I was always getting the MBD bill that was like it'd be 2 months past and it'd be like $1,200. You know what I'm saying? Like every other month, it was crazy.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Precious says they had Russian flags with Trump name on them at CPAC.
Wow.
Russian flags with Trump's name on them.
And to answer, Raina Harrison Williams says, "Did Trump try to leave NATO?" And apparently he did. Yeah, he there are several reports from 2019, 2020 about Donald Trump expressing interest in withdrawing from NATO, which is basically the arch rival of the Russians. That's why that's exactly why Russia is invading Ukraine, because they were getting kind of too close and too familiar with NATO countries, and Russia is afraid of NATO countries surrounding them.
Hot mess. Let us know. You telling us a lot about what you're seeing around here, and I guess we're talking about energy prices and stuff like that is affecting us. But there's more ways that this whole situation is affecting us, especially here in Nebraska as well. We definitely could jump into that. It's coming up on the 8:30 hour, half hour here. So if you're keeping track of time, you got somewhere to be at 9:00. It's about 8:28 right now. Just to let you know, here in Omaha, Nebraska, First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, Augie Kid coming in last half hour again. What's happening, Augie Kid? What's going on, bro? Squad, good to see you. And we'll definitely keep on talking a little bit about this. Rum's Review says, "Made it to Manning, Iowa. Hit the like button, please." Okay, cool.
Okay.
I'm glad you were able to drive safe and get there in one piece, and appreciate you listening to us on the way for sure.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Who's that?
You want to go ahead and jump into the article?
What about the impact?
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much it. That is the impact.
It's just the energy impact.
Well, yeah, the energy, the possibility of hacking.
Yeah.
Again, in our banks, our hospitals, all of that. I mean, it's a pretty big iceberg that we just discussed. And I'm sure there's more, possible ways that this can impact us. I mean, you really don't know what other tactics, the Russians have up their sleeve. I actually have heard some reports of proxies in the Americas. There are some Russian countries or countries that are what was the word I'm looking for? Familiar, friendly, I guess, for lack of a better word, with Russia in South America. I believe Argentina is one.
Right.
Yeah. So
they got business deals going on.
Exactly. So again, the West is definitely a very starch enemy of Russia, and if pressures continue, like you just said, Paul, the Russians are already feeling the pressure with their economic system. If that does continue, I don't think it's too far out of a possibility for some Russian cells in South America to be activated, and we don't know what we could see as far as conflict in the Americas.
There you go. Speaking of which, Pops brings up a good theory. He says, politically, I think Trump is a Russian plant or a Russian sympathizer.
Definitely. Definitely, which is why we continue to talk about the Trump effect, which is why this whole Herbster article is important because, again, that's another way it can impact us.
I think that they got footage of him in Russia acting a fool in hotel rooms. I think they've been blackmailing him this whole time, and he's been on their side because of that. I wouldn't put it
Well,
past him.
Well, remember, Russia or Trump was trying to get a Trump Tower in Russia. He was trying to get Trump Tower in Moscow, and he's looking to do business with Russia so he can get some TIF financing. Talking about that TIF, a lot of Trump's wealth has been built on his casinos, which lean heavily on TIF financing. And he's trying to get a Trump Tower in Russia. So yeah, he's definitely willing and dealing to get his Trump Tower in Russia.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that recently, but yeah, that was something he was trying to do back in the day in a big way. But I think it goes deeper than that too. I think they're
Mm,
both same kind of dictator. I think he admires the way that Putin does things, but I also think they got something on him. I think that, if you remember back in the day, they had him some pictures of him in a hotel room and some wildness going on. We didn't really hear too much about it after that, but I definitely think that he leans that direction because of that. Also, something to think about too and remember too. Putin was an ex KGB agent that is very
yeah.
much all about how the Soviet Union ran things back in the day. And what I've been hearing, because we hadn't talked yet today about what Germany has done. Germany has chimed up in a big way
Mm,
as of like yesterday and today, sending arms to Ukraine, which is something they haven't done in a long time. Getting in the middle of that, they feel like Putin is trying to bring the Soviet Union back, which will upset the whole situation over there in Europe.
mm-hmm.
And so Germany finally has stood up and spoke out, and this is something that's kind of not they don't do that. They've gone beyond their whole policy even to send arms over. So that's the big thing is, man, he's over there trying to like reclaim the Soviet Union. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, and shake up Europe, and he's doing it militarily,
Yeah.
which is what they're just like, nah, it's not going.
With force. With
Yes, not
force.
going to happen.
But I think you might be onto something with that whole Trump comment because if you remember, Trump was tied in real close with the Jeffrey Epstein situation. It is not far out of the imagination for Russian hackers to get something as far as Trump in that light and holding that against him to make
Very
him
true.
dance.
Brother Muhammad says these are all white men and women ready to destroy all just to get what they want. Think about it. Not all white men and women, just the rich and powerful. The sins of the past will be relived in the future.
Oh yeah, it's definitely looking like World War III.
Ceci Jean says, I remember hearing about the golden showers rumors about Trump while he was in Russia. That's what I'm talking about.
Uh, I I did hear about that. Was that like
Wasn't Trump.
late '90s?
That's when they got the footage. I believe it was back in those days. But yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Epstein, wild parties in Russia, the gold, the golden shower stuff, all that stuff, man. It's yeah, I think they got something on him, and that's one of the reasons why he's sticking with him so tough.
Man,
Myself.
you might be onto something, Paul.
It's a lot. It's a
It
lot,
is. It is.
especially when you think about what it could end up being, which is like nuclear war.
Nuclear war.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a quick break on that note. Hopefully, come back and do we have any
Yeah.
light news around here?
Yeah, we do, man. Let's just come back and we never talked about speaking of that troll talk about Snoop. We never talked about Snoop buying Death Row.
We did not. uh,
Yeah, yeah.
New Najee L says, didn't the fashion guy with Epstein end up dead in prison? Not sure. I don't know about Epstein. I mean, any more on that case except for his woman that's about to go to jail or went to jail.
Yeah, yeah, she got
Augie
convicted.
Kid says hacking is definitely a huge thing. Everyone should check out the late Michael K. Williams stories, Black Market. The
Man,
first couple episodes of season 2 dive into scams, bots, and hacking, but they're still only scratched the surface. Yeah, they're still influencing a lot. They're still influencing a lot. Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back. Thanks for all the comments and digging deep and going into this whole thing. Hot mess. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B. Buddi3 Da Gawd. Star Trek Rich. Stay tuned. .37 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B. Buddi3 Da Gawd with the delayed response. Star Trek Rich in the house. It's going down. Thanks for joining us once again. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, and here we do what we call the Starfleet Daily Meditation, what Buddy calls the Trekkie Words of Wisdom. Today, it's from James T. Kirk, James Tiberius Kirk from the original series. Maybe we weren't meant for paradise. Maybe we were meant to fight our way through, struggle our way up, scratch for every inch of the way.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Maybe that's true. I personally think we was meant for paradise, but
how do you get to paradise?
Well, you fight your way through, struggle our way up, scratch for every inch of the way.
There you go.
I think that's how you get there. So
yeah, you gotta. A man. What is it? Man does not know his strength, or it's through a foe that man knows his greatest strength. If you have no struggle, if it's easy, smooth selling, how do you become a great salesman, or how do you become a great seller? Excuse me.
This is true. Very, very true. Lots of people chiming up in the chat on things. Really appreciate that. On every subject, man, we get so many in-depth comments, and that's what this is all about. This whole thing that we're doing here with this conversation. So, thank you for tuning in on that. If you miss any parts of this show, you can definitely go back and check it out on Facebook or YouTube. If you happen to be over at YouTube, please go ahead and give us a like and a subscribe over there on YouTube so you can play the whole YouTube algorithm game. It's never ending. It's always a game you got to play with these social medias. So we really appreciate everybody that does that for us as well. Yeah. Mr. Erica Felt says Snoop doesn't own the Chronic or Tupac that was released while he was alive. He said he's working on the Tupac.
Yep.
He's trying to get the whole Death Row catalog, I believe. So yeah, you might need to check it out. Rome's Review says I went to a barbecue fundraiser for the Smoke Shack off 108th and Q. It was good. Glad I got some grub. Smoke Shack. I haven't heard of this one yet.
I think Rome's Review was talking about that on Friday, about that fundraiser. I think someone close to the owners or related to the owners passed away or something. And that was the fundraiser was for. If I'm not mistaken. And I think the Smoke Shack is that right off of 108th and Q. So that's actually a black owned business. Yeah. Shout out to those brothers and sisters. I remember them just launching right left. Yeah. It's right on it's kind of in that plaza for 108th.
Yeah, I think I remember you talking about. Yeah, I haven't tried that. I haven't checked it out yet. Appreciate you checking that out, Mayor Sanchez, and letting us know. Augie Kid in the chat says some of the cast they interview in those episodes give context to missing funds during the pandemic. If you applied for unemployment but never got it, which I know me and some folks did, There's a good chance that your info is probably compromised. Someone got the money, just not you. Woo-wee.
Wow.
Now that's heavy. That's heavy.
Yeah.
Man. New Najee L went ahead and put a link on the Epstein story. They claimed it was a suicide. Somebody
Of
else
course they
that
did.
his Jean-Luc Brunel, Jean-Luc Brunel, who was associated with Epstein, another person.
Right.
Because you remember Epstein allegedly committed suicide himself.
Right.
All right.
So, which goes back to your Trump. We don't know how deep that thing goes.
I'm glad Miss Williams brought this up. Raina Harrison Williams says Louis Farrakhan spoke yesterday for Savior's Day. Very powerful speech. Learned a lot more about him. Check it out. Yeah, saw the advertisement for that. So definitely something to go back and check out. Did you get to check out any pieces of that?
Actually, I did. So yesterday, I mentioned brother Nuna GL. I'll talk to you about this. I actually got my fez yesterday, brother Najee. But I joined a Moorish temple down here. I had proclaimed my nationality. Joined a temple, and we had a feast of love yesterday. Where we had like a soup line for a couple of the homeless brothers and sisters down here in Atlanta. And a couple of the brothers there were watching the Savior's Day speech, and we got to talk about it. So I did kind of get a couple glimpses of that. But brother Louis
You didn't say
Farrakhan,
all
man,
that.
yeah, I didn't. When we talked about it before the show, no, I didn't.
But how was your weekend? We gave some food to some needy people. That's all. I know you got a fez yesterday. The whole thing, bro.
Yeah, I got my fez. It's upstairs. I'll show it in a later episode. But yeah. For those who don't know, Morris Science Temple. Just look into it, man. It's a beautiful thing. All praise due to the Most High, honorable Allah and His Prophet Noble Drew.
We got to talk about it at some point, man, for sure.
Actually, the Grand Sheik of the temple, who's basically kind of equivalent to the priest or the imam or however you want to compare it, but he asked me to interview him. So that might be something that I do and record and play on the show. If anyone is interested in learning more about Moorish Science, the Moorish Science Temple, or what it is, because basically the Moorish Science Temple is one of the earliest organizations for African Americans in the United States. It is right there along with Marcus Garvey and his UNIA. Hey,
that's what's up. Christy Nora is talking more about this fundraiser. I believe that Mayor Sanchez went to. You talking about the barbecue one? She's saying their son was murdered, and the dad is a heart transplant. The GoFundMe is to help them stay open. They shut down for a month when the son died.
Yeah.
Did we miss this story?
Mayor Sanchez, he's been talking about it. I don't see any like actual news reports on it. But definitely shout out to Mayor Sanchez for being tapped in, and he's been talking about it in the chat for about a week or so.
Okay, I'd love to, Mayor Sanchez, if you met the family or Christy Nor, if you know anybody that would like to come on and talk about this, we would definitely like to have them on and help raise some funds for this cause. I mean, my goodness.
Definitely.
Wow.
Yeah. But before we get out of here, I do have a couple more articles. I mean, we talked about war and death and all that for a majority of the show. I did want to spread some love and give some flowers to a couple folk before we get out of here, if that's all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. So just about 15 minutes left in the show, and wanted to start off this round of love with our very own Simone Sanders.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Paul, you know what's going on. You know the vibes, man. Simone Sanders is the latest face to be added to the Omaha barroom floor. That is the honored hall or wall of fame, if you will, at the Omaha Press Club. She's now the 167th face on the barroom floor, selected by the face of the barroom floor committee. Of course, she has served as the face representing two presidential candidates, both Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. She also served as a chief spokesperson for Vice President Kamala Harris. And now you can find her face again on the Omaha barroom floor or also on her show on Peacock. Making moves.
The Black Woman Network.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Of course, her mother, Terry Sanders, served as the MC of the night. So that was a very beautiful thing for her mom to be in attendance. Other speakers included Emily Mwaja of Girls Inc. Also, Simone Sanders will be honored alongside some other greats. Again, she joins the likes of Warren Buffett, Tom Osborne, Johnny Carson, Larry the Cable Guy, and K-Fab's very own Todd and Tyler.
Okay. That's what's up.
Um,
That's what's up,
yeah,
man.
man.
Represent. Represent.
And again,
Congratulations.
oh yeah, definitely got to give those flowers. And again, outside of her face being on that wall in the press club, you can catch her, as I mentioned, on her MSNBC and Peacock show, The Choice.
Yes, and just she just got that deal, so this is huge, and yeah, this is also huge for Omaha, man. Omaha
Man,
Press Club honors. Brianna Full, I saw a picture. You were taking pictures of everybody there. Definitely let us know how the night went, how it felt. Also, I ran into Terry Sanders, TD Sanders, put some respect on her name, just recently too, and she said, "Hey, how can I come on the show?" I was like, "Let me just give you a call and set up a date. Let's do it." So we will have Miss Sanders on soon as well. We can talk to her about how it felt to
no,
get to her see her daughter get that honor as well.
definitely. I got a couple people correcting me. Thank you for the correction. Keep me honest. Josh Tech says Todd and Tyler, aka ZO. Don't get it crossed. My bad, y'all. Don't
That's
don't get it
funny.
messed up, fool.
That's what was funny. I saw Todd and Tyler. I was thinking to myself, they on KFab too. I didn't know. See, they got an alter ego on KFab. I went down this whole rabbit hole about how they were living a double life on us and all.
Yeah, your mind just started going. No, I
Yeah.
misspoke, y'all. I misspoke.
Todd and Tyler are actually some cats that I understand grew their show from a morning show.
Hmm.
It took them like 16 years, but they took them a while,
Okay.
and but they got to the point where they're syndicated nationally, and it was kind of interesting hearing their story, how they kind of came up and all that. I'm sure that you guys have run across Todd and Tyler at some point in living in Omaha radio life. So yeah, man, shout out to them for sticking to something for all these years. I'm looking at them like, well, we gonna be at 16 years. That's what's up, you know.
Man, I kind of my bad, y'all. Kind of had people had people scared. Pressure said, "Look, I like Ty and Tyler. I was about to cancel them. Hey, hey, my bad, y'all.
I'm
My
gonna throw
bad,
them.
y'all."
Gonna throw them cats on K-Fab like that. That's what's up, man. That's funny. Uh, Kimberly Snipes, they did, Paul. It was nice to watch. That's what's up. Rose Review says, love Todd and Tyler. Boy,
There
you
you
almost
go.
threw him
There
under
you
the
go.
bus.
There you go. There you go. Also, while we're giving love to Omaha cats who reached the national level, definitely got to give love to our very own Mario Corbino.
For sure, for
Yes,
sure.
yes, yes. Singer, latest member, newest member of the legendary The Temptations, who just actually dropped an album. Still working, still touring, still doing the thing. Temptation 60 is the latest album out by the
Wow.
legendary group. Again, marking their sixth, count it, y'all, sixth decade as a vocal institution.
Bro.
Again, man, literally with numerous lineup changes and that have remained constant. But the presence of founder Otis Williams, who is actually the one I believe who selected Mario Corbino to join the group, is still alive and well and with the group. And of course, their reputation is peerless as vocal harmonizers. They still got it, man. They
Yeah.
still got it.
And that shout out to Mario Corbino. His dad, Mel Corbino, was a heavy jazz cat in Omaha. Put Omaha on the map in a lot of ways with jazz. Did a whole lot of stuff, and that generation in his family down the generations, man, just super talented. Mario super talented. He grew up and born and raised in Omaha, and then kind of moved around, moved to L.A., got into the music business in a really big, real way, and has been kind of living everywhere, but comes back every Omaha day and sings
Mm.
and everything, man. So yeah, we actually got tight over the years since I've been. He says that my grandfather taught his dad how to drive a stick, and he was
Mm.
like, that makes us cousins. So we we fam, we fam, So shout out when he got that gig as lead singer of the Temptations. We're just like,
Man,
wow. Okay,
yeah,
that's huge, man. So that's huge.
yeah.
So I'm looking at that Temptation 60 and seeing his face plastered all over the place is just a trip. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
It's really like that. We're gonna have to try to get him and the Temptations to come to Omaha and be
that'd be
like,
dope.
talk to Temps into saying you got to come play your hometown, bro. Come on through.
Man, that'd be dope. Also, while we're talking about the family, big shout out to his son. Who we've done some work with his son. Also, kind of back at the 72-hour album challenge days. You remember with Mind and Soul. His son's also a very very talented musician as well. So it's something in that bloodline, man. It's something flowing in that blood that got the beat going.
That's
Shout
real.
out to Mario Corbino. His sister too.
His sister was bad too. Yeah, man.
Man,
Real tight. Kimber Snipe says, I was regular during Black History Month. They were off the chain, but they were also the reason I got involved with Democrats. Okay, who are you talking about?
Talking about Todd and Tyler still.
Oh, Todd and Tyler. Okay. Okay, boy. I'm glad
Talking about the Temptations.
I was like, okay, they're a little deeper than I thought. Mr. Cafell says, I was blessed to be able to take my mother to see the Temptations in the Four Tops at the Circle Star Theater in San Francisco back in '89. Beautiful memory because she loved it.
Man, that's beautiful. Man.
Oh, Mark Manor says they're coming with the symphony next season.
There you go.
That's going to be, I'm getting tickets for that now. That's going to be crazy.
There you go.
Precious says, my grandmother was a huge fan of the Temptations. I still listen to the Temptations Christmas album. Yeah, man, legendary, bro. Legendary. Yeah. Josh Tate put the Omaha Symphony Concerts Temptation link in there.
Thank you kindly.
Check them out. Man, that's what's up. We definitely need to hit that up. Definitely. I love it. Yeah, man, everybody. So that was when I was younger, it was that's my dad's music, you know. I ain't about all that, you know. But of course you get older, you start growing in appreciation for all of it, and like that movie, you know, sometimes when stuff is real rough and you just trying to get your mind back right, listening to some old music like that will put you right back there, man.
Yeah. I mean, good music is timeless. It's ageless.
Yeah. Ty Williams says, my work internet kicked me offline. They won't let me back. Great, I'm back now. If you've missed any parts of the show, you can always go back to Facebook or to YouTube and watch the show in its entirety. I appreciate it if you did that and spread the word. And again, if you're ever on Facebook and you're hanging with us for the duration, go ahead and share that page so everybody can take a look at it as well. So appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so with that, man, just about 7 minutes left in the show. It's a Monday, so we really don't have too many haps, but I did want to conclude this love affair, this segment of flowers, by giving some flowers to Uncle Snoop. It's not really an Omaha connection, but we definitely got to give flowers to Uncle Snoop, man. Not a small feat at all. Finally, coming full circle in his career. Takeover of Death Row Records is officially complete, and first order of business is to get the full catalog under his control. Again, as several of the chat chimers have mentioned, there are a couple albums out there that are not under Death Row's control, most namely Dr. Dre's The Chronic and Tupac's All Eyes on Me and the Don Illuminati 7 Day Theory albums are still not under Death Row's control. And according to Billboard, the Pac projects are now owned by Amuru Entertainment and the Tupac estate, while Dr. Dre's Soul Death Row album is expected to return to him sometime in 2023. So it is a possibility that we may not see those come back, especially the ones that are in the Tupac estate, but we'll definitely keep our eyes on that situation.
Yeah. Also, did we talk much about him making it an NFT?
We didn't. We really didn't. But if you got some insight on that, go ahead and break that down.
I really don't. I just think there was an announcement last week that he was going to make this the first NFT record label. Which, if you followed anything that we talked about NFTs and stuff before, non-fungible tokens. Basically, it's what the blockchain allows you to build things on in order for you to have some ownership of the internet. And we've actually talked amongst ourselves about starting an NFT label, and for that very reason as well. So, you know, the details on it are hard for me to like summarize the details about what an NFT label is, but just understand that Snoop is like looking to the future, looking to the metaverse, looking to solidify some things that not just letting other people who created this thing dominate the space, but also us coming on in and using the space as is needed as well. So I really am proud that he's even thinking that progressively about what he's going to do with the company.
Man,
So yeah,
I mean, this is something
yeah,
that
she's
he's had a lot of time to think about, though.
yeah. I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to explain what an NFT label is. Because Miss Erica Fell says he's talking about it being NFT label, but I don't know what that means. Um, yeah, that's it's hard to explain. So if having an NFT label means that his releases will be the digital releases that he can sell, you'll have some ownership over in a digital way. So
Um,
yeah, so it's like you own an actual physical CD, but it's digital, and there's a signature on it that allows you to own it. So you can actually resell it, or I guess they're not gonna have you resell that music. But anyway, there's an ownership to it that creates a certain kind of value for it.
Yeah.
So it's not just like you got to download and you can give that download to everybody. People can copy downloads, but an NFT means that you'll own the actual digital copy of it.
And here's an article. So when Snoop finished the Death Row deal, what he did was released a new album called Back on Death Row, BODR. And that album itself is what's called a stash box of NFTs, which
Mhm.
is, it says 25,000 copies were made, or stash boxes were made, each priced at $5,000 each, and they're available on a blockchain platform. So it's all going to live on these blockchain platforms. It says each stash box includes one of 17 NFTs devoted to each track for the album. Fans that collect all 17 would be eligible for rewards like a chance to party at Snoop's LA mansion and other experiences. So that's how a glimpse into how the NFT will be used. That non fungible digital token would be your key or access into free merch, parties,
Right.
concerts. I mean, you name it.
Yeah. Owner, just all kinds of ownership. And
Yeah.
it's sitting on blockchain. Blockchain is what cryptocurrency sits on too. So Bitcoin sits on blockchain. So if you know anything about Bitcoin, you know how Bitcoin works. You know that it's a digital currency. This is kind of the same thing in music form.
Yep.
So I'm still feeling like it ain't clear, but
No,
we'll
no. Again, we're gonna have to like donate a whole episode to really like, maybe figure out a little bit of this internet aspect so we can be able to live stream a walk through the metaverse, because it is very interesting. Again, I got introduced to the metaverse through a if you know about the 85 South show, which is a
Mhm.
comedy show. It's a podcast on YouTube, but they have an NFT building where you can go into the metaverse. It's like a video game almost, but you can go on your phone, your computer, anything that has an internet, walk around, and you can buy stuff, you can watch videos, you can completely interact in this world. So I definitely think it's something spending the whole episode in exploring.
For sure. Brother Rich, Star Trek Rich, put in the chat a link. Here's a breakdown of what NFT label entails. So thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Mr. Eric says, I think because nothing similar has been a part of my paradigm, I'm not grasping it. Yes,
It's a
it
new
is
concept.
definitely a very new thing, very
Yep.
new. But they attributed to like before nobody thought you was gonna have the internet, a computer in your house, and in the internet running on it. Nobody knew what the World Wide Web was either, and it's they attribute it to that. It's like it's gonna be that commonplace in what they call Web 3.0.
No, no,
So
no. Literally, that's what it is. It's a new internet. It's a new internet. What we have now, as far as the .coms and the www format, that whole platform is what's known as Web 2.0. This whole
okay.
blockchain system, as Paul just mentioned, is known as Web 3.0, which is like the equivalent of moving from the second dimension to the third dimension.
There you go. More on this later. It's 9 o'clock right now, buddy. You got some words for the people?
Man, as always, we appreciate y'all for joining the conversation, letting your minds be free, letting your voices be heard, and really having input and going with us wherever the conversation goes. Man, I constantly find that amazing that we can really talk about anything and get, kind of down to the nitty gritty of it. So I appreciate, this conversation, this platform that we have all built, and I look forward to continuing building this. So we're all part of this. Call y'all the fam, the squad for a reason. So yeah, man, catch the same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Sky Omaha.
There you go. Stay tuned for special guests in the rest of the week, and we'll be on Wednesday 7:30, Friday 7:30. I'm sorry, 7:00 as well. And don't forget to tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. I want to give thanks to the Omaha tribe elders that allow us to be on this land and speak while we're here. I want to give a shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before them. Shout out to Star Trek Rich and this Weberized crew.
Squad.
Weberized.com. If you have podcast ideas, check them out because they're the experts on that. And I want to give thanks to all of you, the chat chimers, everybody who's chimed into the chat and continue the conversation. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Peace and blessings we have. We have an awesome show. Thank you. See you all on Wednesday. Love you, fam. Love you all, fam. Appreciate it. Also, and yeah, just want to say, Brooke says good show as usual. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much for tuning in. We couldn't do it without you. If you're not a reoccurring member of the station, please consider doing so. Go to firstskyOmaha.com, hit the donate button, and become a reoccurring member of the station here so that we can continue these conversations well into the future. Really appreciate all of your support, everyone who's done that so far, and really appreciate you just as people. So thank you very much, and we'll see you Wednesday.
Hold on. Before we get, I gotta read this comment from Brother Melvin Muhammad. I think that's a good sign off. It says, family, it's been a gas, it's been a ball. The clock on the wall says that's all, y'all. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Right on, brother. All right, you have a good one. We'll talk soon. See you Wednesday. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroad, with the key.
By any means necessary.
We're still on the air. Still no little mama today.
No little mama. They actually in the car. We got some appointments we got to make.
I'll see how it is. You're gonna leave little mama out now. Okay.
Yeah.
See